Shoe on Head is a great channel. And right now, I don't know if you guys know, so like you only not reaction, and that's like not what I want for this channel. I kind of just want what I'm doing right now to be it, where we could just find stuff on YouTube, because there's too much content on YouTube for us not to react to that, you know. And I don't want to get into the legalities of watching something on Netflix while on YouTube, because that is a paywall, you know what I mean? Like, not safe. But right now, currently in America, we're struggling. We're not happy. A lot of people voted for the Trump administration, like myself. And I really feel like a year out from now, it's been one full year, and I don't think anyone is better off. And right now, we have a full-blown communist in New York City who is the mayor. And everyone has eyes on him, because if his policies actually make things better for the average person, the average American, dude, we might go see America go full communism. They're gonna be bleeding red, not for patriotism, but for that Chinese communism.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to inform you that
she's
the rumors
great.
are indeed
This actually,
true.
she's
The
one of the
Democrats
best like female
have
streamers.
struck back. In the New Jersey governor's race, the Democrat won. In the Virginia governor's race, the Democrat won. And in the New York City race, Democratic Socialist Zoran Mamdani defeated Andrew Cuomo to become the next mayor of America's largest city. But the question on everyone's mind is,
Muslim mayor after 9/11, I know.
Easy wins in blue cities and states? Or is there something
That's
more
how pissed
to
we are
this?
right now.
Is this a sign of things to come? Is the
Maybe.
Democratic Party finally turning their losing streak around? Are they
No.
actually listening
Too
to the
early.
people now? Did they finally learn their lesson? No. Thanks for watching. My last 3 videos about electoral politics were warning the Democratic Party that young men were moving right because the party f***ing sucks and was becoming the young men eat and die movement.
Well, yeah, because right now, I still feel like it is currently that way on the left. It's like, if you're a white male or a dude who looks like a white guy, you're the problem. And it's like, I at least will have an open conversation. We may not agree, but I understand as a human, even Kat, you and me, we may have things that we disagree on, but guess what? We have more things in common than we don't. And most oftentimes that statement is so true. There is people who you just have nothing nothing on agreement with, and you just try to live as peacefully and as far apart as you guys can. That way there's no conflict. But most people, 80-90% of people, we have so much in common. Stop focusing on the 20 or the 10% that separates us.
Thanking the Democratic Party for losing because they elected one of the most unlikable, shittiest candidates while offering absolutely nothing to voters, and defending the voters from the wrath of a bunch of liberal streamer man-children calling the voters stupid and evil for daring not to vote for Hillary Clinton and brownface. But the thesis for all 3 of those videos was basically the same. As the right embraces working-class populism, the Democratic Party and the left will continue to fade into irrelevancy. But as I also predicted in those last videos, there might be an eventual pendulum swing, and it might be happening much sooner than I predicted. Like, how did we go from Republicans winning the popular vote, in part thanks to a lot of the young people voting, to a bunch of data showing those same young people dropping their support for the GOP already? But the interesting thing is, those young people don't seem to be moving to the Democratic Party either. Where are they going? And do the Democrats have a plan to scoop these people up? Yes, they do, and they called it, I'm not kidding, deciding to win. Deciding to win, as if the whole time they have just been simply deciding to lose. It was a choice, guys. They changed their mind and they want to win now. In this video, I will talk about why I think Zoran Mamdani won. We will go through the Democrat Party's plan to decide to win. We will briefly talk about the rise of the political commentator Nick Fuentes, the MAGA Civil War, and what I like to call the inevitable rise.
To be honest, grocery prices haven't really gotten any lower, but I don't think... No, they've definitely gotten a little... It's weird, because some things have gotten a little cheaper, but, like, the things that Lo and I eat, which is, like, whole foods, whether it be, like, beef, chicken, eggs, flour, like, all of that stuff, it's stayed the same. It hasn't gone down. But inflation's gone up, so it feels way more expensive.
Of shoe-socialism. If that sounds interesting, stick around. If it doesn't, you can leave. It's not like I'll miss you or anything. Baka. I know a lot of you are not very interested in politics.
She just called
You
me a
come here
baka?
for the fun Reddit
I know
slop,
so many
the
of you
men
just got a
versus
little
women
boner.
content. Yeah, I know. But unfortunately, politics kind of seeps into your lives whether you want it to or not. So you might as well be entertained when you hear about it and have some fun with it when you can. And I just so happen to have the perfect app for that. So before we get into this political deep dive, let's quickly give a shout out to today's sponsor, one of my favorite sponsors
What is it,
to
Ground
work
News?
with, Ground News. Ground News is a website and an app that gives readers a transparent and easy way to read news
She
from all
changed.
across the political spectrum.
Now, what is the sentiment right now? I'm curious. For Kat, I'm asking you directly, but when this gets to a YouTube video, in the comments, what is the perception of America right now in 2025? Is America seen as a serious nation? Are we seen as serious guys? Or are we seen kind of silly? Do we seem like we're headed in the right direction, or do we seem like we're headed in the wrong direction? Money is important. Money
To see how
is very
political bias
important.
can affect framing. For example, this feud between Elon Musk and Billie Eilish. This right-wing headline reads, Elon Musk claps back
that's the
at
real
Billie
news.
Eilish after she slams him for hoarding wealth. And this left-wing article frames the same story as, Elon Musk's comebacks are as flat as his attempts at jokes. Very different vibes going on here. I have been using Ground News since 2021 because it is just a great and fun way to keep up with the news. But don't just take my word for it. Even the Nobel Peace Center called it an excellent way to stay informed, avoid echo chambers, and expand your worldview. Best of all, I am currently offering 40%
We're seen as a serious.
off.
We're seen as a serious nation with a joker president and naive citizens in a nutshell. I think that's pretty accurate, coming from an American.
Basically the price of like a coffee.
And if we can't, if we can't say that Trump isn't the funniest fucking president that we've ever had in office,
You can also gift a subscription to
Dudes,
somebody. Just select
that's
the Vantage
comedic
subscription,
timing.
add a customized gift message, and Ground News will send it straight to their inbox where they can activate it. The perfect Christmas present for your out-of-touch uncle who gets all his news from Facebook. So thank you, Ground News, for sponsoring this video, and
But
thank
that's
you,
where the
the viewer,
truth's
for
at.
not skipping the ad. Right?
I didn't.
Now,
I
let's
just
get
talked
back
over
to the
it.
video. For those of you familiar with
God.
the Shoe on
Seeing
Head
her as a
channel, you
blonde
know
was
I've
freaking me
harshly
out.
criticized the Democratic Party for all my career.
I was
Some say
starting
too
to
harshly.
Simp.
Frankly, I don't care. And some say I'm not harsh enough on the Republicans. First of all, true, but let's be honest. That's not why you come
Just
here.
kidding.
You go to Kyle Kalinske for that. Just like you go to Destiny to see opinions you can hear on CNN, or to Hassan for dog training tips. You
Oh
come
my
here to
God.
hear, golly gee willikers, I'm left wing and the Democrats have gone crazy. That's the shit you're here for. But are the Democrats
That's
actually getting their shit together?
true.
Or did they simply get lucky in a few blue areas? One of those blue areas being my city, New York, where Democratic Socialist candidate Zohran Mamdani won the election and will become the new mayor.
Way to
And
dox
a lot
yourself,
of people are like
idiot.
really confused about how
Just
this
kidding.
happened. And if you're one of those people, you really need to keep watching. If you don't understand why Mamdani won, I'm sorry to say, but you're kind of like the liberals in 2016 who didn't understand
Isn't it
why
awkward
Trump won.
sometimes watching Trump shit as a U.S. citizen? Yes. Yes, it is. Sometimes it seems like he's literally putting his fist in his mouth, and you're like, dude, you could have said, out of all the words that you had to choose from, those are the ones that you chose, and you put them in that order, huh? You just sit there, and you're like, damn, did we fuck up? But then you see the sit down between him and Zohan, and you're like, this is the best representation of Trump ever. We're getting secondhand embarrassment. I mean, some of it's really bad. Some of it is, it would be weird for me not to acknowledge, right? Same thing with some of the JD Vance stuff. Like, I voted for the Avengers, like, and I feel, and this may be just this is just my POV, but I feel like it's shared amongst the other bros who think like me. When I voted for Trump this administration, or for this time around, it wasn't just for Trump. He had Tulsi Gabbard with him. He had Elon Musk. He had Vivek. He had RFK. He had a whole conglomerate of just like these Republicans that felt like them assembling the Avengers. And it was like, okay, this is something I can get behind, because just Trump as an individual can only get so much done. But if he's going in with a group of people that I trust, and at that point in time, Cash was one of them, I was like, okay, this is a good thing. But now Elon's out. Vivek's out. There's so many people who are no longer a part of that coalition. And then people turn out to be fakes, like Kash Patel. The only thing he sees an 120 FOV, and he will just blatantly lie to you.
It's actually extremely understandable why Zoran Mamdani won.
Really,
and it's not
though.
just because New York is full of commies or whatever. He is objectively the best Democratic candidate that they've had in a very, very long time. Like, I know the
For
bar
sure.
is in hell there, but he's young,
No,
he's
he's
energetic, he's charismatic.
He's well-spoken.
And people are really tired of the White House doubling as a retirement home. And of course, I like many of his economic policies. I like the universal childcare thing, the transportation, flipping off the Christopher Columbus statue. That's the shit I don't like. Bitch, that's our fucking guy. He was a brave Italian explorer who discovered America, and in this house, Christopher Columbus is a hero. End of story. I've said this many times, but I don't think the good left-wing policies can even exist alongside the bad left-wing policies. Like, I don't know how you can have free transportation, but also be soft on crime. Like, I don't know, like, in what world does that work out? You can't have—
No, you can't. I disagree with this. You can, if you're going to provide those things, there's a certain level of etiquette that you should expect from your neighbors and from yourself, right? So if you're going on the bus and acting a fool, or breaking, vandalizing, doing all of that, acting like a vagabond, you should get treated as such. But if you're respectful, you're getting on, off at the appropriate times, you're not, writing or drawing little penises on the back of seats, it's okay.
nice, clean, free transportation if a bunch of drug addicts and violent felons are going
we're
around
American.
stabbing people and setting them on fire. You can't have nice things if you don't have rules to enforce those nice things. You know what I mean? It's always such a breath of fucking fresh air when I go back to visit my—
Hold on, I just want to just pull this up so that way it makes sense on what I'm responding to. I'm asked how many generations am I in? On my mom's side, she's not Hispanic, she's white. This family's been there probably since, the first ships, right? My mom's side, we've been American. On my dad's side, we're Puerto Rican, so we're kind of like, we kind of have like the backhand way to become an American. So like, I'm just American through and through. Muslim mindset is not going away. The Muslim mindset is the thing that frightens me the most.
family in the suburbs of Long Island, and I go to the CVS, and the fucking toothpaste is free from their plexiglass prisons. I shouldn't have to wait 10 minutes for some poor wagey to come unlock the cagey so I can buy fucking shampoo. We don't have to live that way. Maybe he'll do great, or maybe he gets into power and immediately cucks to the establishment like some other people. I don't like to talk about it. I just don't know how the hell anyone thought Andrew Cuomo was going to win. He killed a bunch of grandmas during COVID.
As you admitted this week, you personally altered the state health department report to undercount the death total, to hide the death total, and then evaded and lied to these families for 5 years. So
You killed a shit ton of people. Bro, what? Plus, he doesn't even f***ing live in New York City. He doesn't live in the city he's running to be mayor of. Cuomo just kind of expected to win based on name recognition alone and being like, hey,
That's
at
what it
least
seemed
I'm
like.
not the other guy. Sound familiar? Trump
like Rahul
actually
Gandhi.
offered a vision. Make America great again. Mamdani offered a vision. A New York City you can afford. So people took a chance on him. People wanted something different. Andrew Cuomo, he had no vision or
Shit
anything.
politics is the
Oh
same
man, I
shit.
love tuning into a debate about New York
Absolutely.
City, and 80% of it is about another f***ing country.
The first foreign visit by a mayor
Dude, this is the craziest shit. This cat, listen to this comment. Listen to this.
of New York is always considered significant. Where would you go first?
First visit, I would visit the Holy Land.
I would go to Israel.
I'd make my fourth trip to Israel.
Mr. Mamdani.
I would stay in New York City. My plans are to address New Yorkers across the 5
That's
boroughs and
the
focus on that.
that's the right
Mr.
answer.
Mamdani, can I just jump in? Would you visit Israel?
That was the exact moment I knew Zoran was going to win. Bro
Yeah.
was just surrounded by NPCs. I love how they're
Literally.
like, where would you go? And Zoran was like, I'm gonna stay here. And instead of being like, no, Zoran, the question was, where would you go? They're like, why wouldn't you go to Israel? Like, that's the answer to the question. Like, that's just the default answer to that question.
No, the
His
right
win was
answer
very
is
much
staying
in part
in
a direct
New York,
response
where he
to
will be
the
the mayor.
affordability crisis that many Americans are facing. So what is the GOP's
I think a
answer
lot
to
of
the
people are starting to ask
affordability
that
crisis?
question.
Oh, great news, guys. There is no affordability crisis. It doesn't exist. It's all in your head, silly. Need to save money? Simply don't buy your grandmother a Christmas present this year.
Budget, budget, budget. You need a plan. Also remember, adults don't need gifts, okay? Focus on the people in your life who are age 3 to 18. Grandma doesn't need slippers. If they don't live by you, don't get them a gift. Now's not the time to spend and break the banks.
Zoran's win was also based
Wow, that was her advice. Grandma doesn't need a new pair of slippers. Do you understand what Grandma did for you to be in your position, you asshole?
basically a direct response to the housing
Grandma needs
crisis in
slippers and
America.
socks.
So what is the GOP's response to the pie-in-the-sky, commie gobbledygook
maybe a
that
lap
Zoran
dance from
Mondani
a
is
local
selling?
gigolo.
Surely they have a better solution.
Here we go. The White House is floating this idea. Bill Pulte is saying, thanks to President Trump, we can indeed work on the 50-year mortgage, a complete game changer. How does that work in dollars? Here you go. 30-year fixed mortgage right now. You're paying $2,038 a month, principal and interest on a $400,000 home. At the bottom, under 50 years, you'd save a couple $100 a month at $1,822
Wow.
principal and interest. That is proposed. Do you like this idea?
I do not like this idea.
Not lowering prices, not building more
No.
housing. No, just being a
Instead
good
of
little
renting
slave
from a
to the bank
landlord.
for 50 years. You might as well be a rentoid forever in this case. Like, at least you don't have to fix your own dishwasher. You will own
Absolutely.
nothing and be happy. Doesn't that sound great, Gen Z?
Oh no.
Vote for us. We'll release the Epstein files and finally drain the swamp. Awesome. Finally, justice. Here it comes, the Epstein files phase 1. We got all your favorite E-celebs here. Don't you think that's a little tacky? I mean, like, this is an international child trap. The Epstein files are on my desk. Oh, that's great. That's great. That's what we've been waiting for. Well? Oh, they don't exist. Wait, what? Yeah, the Epstein files don't exist. They're a Democrat hoax. But you just said, hey, what the f***? That's my wallet. Sorry, Israel needs new weapons. Bye.
Dude, it literally feels this way.
Psst. What do you want, Democrat? Vote for us. Why? What do you have to offer? Hey, that's my wallet again. What are you people doing? Sorry, Israel needs new weapons. Bye. The Epstein files
Jesus
are a really
Christ.
big deal. This is not a partisan issue. You should absolutely care about an international child trafficking blackmail operation consisting of the most powerful people in the world. And anyone telling you to move on is coping, gaslighting, or in on it. If whatever is in there is so damning that it is a national security risk, the people deserve to know. Like, I don't know about you, but if we are paying taxes to a bunch of satanic pedophiles, I would like to know. That is
Agreed.
information I would like to know. Like, I already know we're doing that, but I would like some confirmation. Okay, so
True.
literally as I am filming this, Trump is saying he is releasing the Epstein files. So I guess they weren't a hoax. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be so honest. I have no idea what the is going on, you guys. I'm sure when this video gets posted, there's already gonna be more things that have happened. Also, Mike
Nothing has happened.
Johnson apparently said they need to make changes to the files to make sure we, quote, don't do permanent damage to the political system.
What are... What?
If releasing the Epstein files would do damage to the political system, then so be it. Then it deserves to be damaged. It deserves to be destroyed. Just release the files. After all, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. Isn't that right, government? But it wasn't just the Epstein files thing that has MAGA feeling a little demoralized lately.
Does that mean the H-1B visa thing will not be a big
What is the Indian media take on the Epstein files, Kat? Oh my god.
priority for your administration? Because if you want to raise
When will we see shit about the Epstein files? Brother, I don't know. Not soon enough.
wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands
I agree,
of foreign
but
workers.
You also do have to bring in talent. When
Well, we
a
have
country
plenty of talented people
no, you
here.
don't. No, you don't.
We don't have
You're
talented
being-
people
No,
here?
you don't have.
This is when Trump lost me and a lot of other people.
you don't have certain talents, and people have to learn.
We've talked about this a few times on this channel, actually very recently in the male loser epidemic video. The no talented Americans thing is a myth pushed on us by corpos and billionaires, so they can hire foreign workers who will work for less money and won't unionize.
Like, it's true that like the education system over here is or like, you know, we don't have talented people. I wholeheartedly, and I promise you, I wholeheartedly disagree. We continuously have the best athletes, the best musicians, the best actors, the actresses. We produce freaks. You can't say that's not talent, right? Now, I'm not saying our education system's good. Our education system is ass, but there is still a majority of people don't do well on it, but there is still an outlier of plenty of young boys and girls. I went to school with many that I can name off the top of my head that are Americans, that have last names of Smith and Johnson, who are incredibly smart and who grew up to be doctors. Miller Cohn, quarterback, white guy. Miller Cohn grew up as a quarterback, went to college, became a doctor, and is successful. Victoria V. Johnson, something Johnson, she moved to California, is also a vet doctor, and is excelling in life, right? Like, it's 100% a myth. Does our education system need to be worked and broken apart and dismantled? Yes. Because it currently isn't working? No. California spends more money than anywhere else, and it's 30th in the nation. It's literally like bottom half, right? It should be, states should get awarded bigger allotments for higher education scores. Like, that's how that should be handled.
Worker drones who will work under the coercion of deportation, essentially creating infinite scab labor. Even though there are so many Americans in these fields looking for jobs. But those spoiled Americans will ask for a living wage so they can live in a 600-foot square apartment. How dare they? We can't do that. So import 1 billion immigrants. After all, it's good for business.
Folks are not thrilled about this idea of hundreds of thousands of foreign students in the United States.
If we were to cut that in half, which perhaps makes some people happy, you would have half the colleges in the United States.
U.S. education is ass, except in higher education. To be honest, brother, at this point in time, I guess we have MIT, UCLA. I don't want to say Harvard because I don't think Harvard is nearly as... I don't think Harvard is what it once was. But in terms of like colleges, yes, we have some fantastic colleges that give wonderful opportunities via networking, via the education that you receive. But at this day and age, I think college... I'm just gonna say, I think college is a scam right now.
Out of business. And it's not that I want them, but I view it as a business.
Unfortunately, America does feel like nothing but 3 corporations in a trench coat. But America is not a business. America is not a corporation. It is a nation. The contrast of what Trump is saying here compared to how he used to talk is staggering. Republicans embracing populism, at least rhetorically, is what gave rise to Donald Trump and fundamentally changed the way Republicans do politics in America. If you go back and watch the debates of Donald Trump in 2016, it's crazy.
We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East. They lied. They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass destruction.
All right.
I remember being like, damn, that's not how...
I disagree with Shu on this one, where I think nations should be ran like efficient businesses, lean, efficient businesses. The issue is America is being ran like a bloated corporation, and it needs to be ran like it's a startup.
Politicians in general really talked at that time. Like, we would see it from Bernie Sanders and maybe like Ron Paul, but to get up on stage in a Republican debate in front of Republican donors saying that kind of shit was unheard of. Bro was getting booed. Trump won in 2016 by decrying the bloodlust and warmongering of the Republican Party, but also by speaking to the economic woes of the average working class American. Basically saying, I see you, to people who felt like they haven't been seen by either party in a very long time. Like, I saw people in my life, my neighbors and stuff, that were all like Obama voters like just flipped Trump, and now like all of Long Island. Long Island is like the Florida of the Northeast, bro. It is like Trump country there now. Before Trump... Oh, my nuggies are here. My nuggies are here. 1 second. 1 second. I must go get my nuggies. It's nuggie time. 34-year-old woman, by the way. Mother, by the way. Before Trump, the Democrats basically relied on talking about how the Republican Party didn't care about the working class. But eventually, the problem for Democrats was the working class didn't care about them. But now it seems like the Republican Party is going back on all of that and becoming the Bush-era neoconservative party again, right as they're winning, embracing freaks like Lindsey Graham.
So I just want to say, I feel good about the Republican Party.
Dude, this guy
I feel
is so
good about
weird.
where we're going as a nation. We're killing all the right people.
The Republican Jewish Coalition. Do we see what he's standing in front of? The American Eagle with the star, what is it? The Star of David right here in the center, kind of like as a silhouette. Dude. What are we doing?
People, we're cutting your taxes.
What are we
Trump is my
doing?
favorite president. We've run out of bombs. We didn't run out of bombs in World War II.
Republicans, is that what you want your party to be?
We ran out of bombs. That's the flex?
Lowering taxes and killing people? We tried that already. To many Republicans, the solution to the affordability crisis, wreaking havoc on Americans, is simply trusting the free market, working hard, and if that doesn't work, they bust out all reliable.
If you're a young person and you can't afford to live here, then maybe you should not live here. I mean, that is a real thing. Yeah, I know that we've now grown up in a society that says that you deserve to live where you grew up, but the reality is that the history of America is almost literally the opposite of that.
Ah yes, the classic. Just move. Just move from Economic Zone 67 to Economic Zone 69. I don't know, man. Maybe some people actually like where they live. Maybe they want to make their community better. This is like the libertarian version of just deal with it when you talk to leftists about crime. Like, no, we shouldn't just deal with it. We shouldn't just move. Maybe we can make the cities in our country livable and safe. Maybe better things are possible, actually. My husband and I moved away from our families because of his job, and it f***ing sucks. It sucks raising kids without an extended family around. Say hi to grandma on FaceTime. Not normal, not natural. When I was growing up, it was like aunts and uncles and cousins and grandparents were just coming in and out of my house, like bringing over food, like, hey, I got some mancati. I would be babysat by my cousins and my aunts. And because we moved away, my kid won't have that. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's one reason many young people are putting off having children. The complete lack of community, the lack of a village. If you can't afford to live where your family lives, just move to fucking Gary, Indiana, where there's nobody around and no jobs and no family and no friends, but hey, at least you can afford a house there. That's not how life should work, Ben. Maybe take a step back and try to understand. Am I doing bird hands too much? You guys have made me so insecure.
China is following the principle that if the enemy is making a mistake, never tell them that you're making mistakes to win. If the actual quote from The Art of War by Sun Tzu is if the enemy is making a mistake, let them. Continue. Don't stop them. Don't stop them from making a mistake.
Care about the fucking bird hands thing ever since this meme.
And you ain't lying.
Okay, listen, I'm a woman, okay? We are programmed to scold children. And when no children are around, we scold people on the internet, okay? Anyway, Nick Fuentes is a far-right commentator and a controversial figure to say the least. But his main topic he covers is Israel, which is an extremely hot topic that many other right-wing commentators...
The Art of War is great, is a great book. So is the Book of Five Rings. Those are two books that I've actually read, and I am not a reader. I only listen to an Audible or do something. I have read them. I should go out and buy them and have them here in my house. But those are kind of like, especially the Book of Five Rings. I've literally consumed that book maybe 10 times, and every time I get something new out of it. I love it.
Seem to not want to touch. And the rare times they do touch it, it's them telling you not to talk about it, questioning why you care so much, or shape-shifting into the woke mob they fought against for so many years, calling you names, calling for you to be censored. What's funny is they didn't care about any of Nick Fuentes' rants on like race or women. They only started caring when his rants on Israel were blowing up. Nick recently did an interview with Tucker Carlson, which completely ignited the MAGA civil war that was brewing on the right for some time now. It got so ridiculous that even Chuck Schumer went on the Senate floor and called for a disavowal of Nick Fuentes. Sir, with all due respect, none. Why do politicians need a resolution in the Senate to disagree with a citizen? Hello, I have gathered you all here today to disavow Hitler Bussy 420. People can't afford groceries, Charles. Ben Shapiro, in particular, has spent the last few months extremely confused and angry about Zohran Mamdani and Nick.
He's just, I think he's grown up his whole life angry and confused.
Fuentes becoming popular in the mainstream, all while his numbers continue to drop. I honestly don't think he understands what is happening here, so I am going to explain to you, Ben, what exactly is going on here. The American dream does not exist anymore for most people. Young people followed advice that worked for older generations, and it got them nowhere.
Work hard, go to college, get a degree, and then go get a job. Well, we've done all the steps up to go to college and get a job, but most people who get a degree don't get a job in their field. And I don't want to hear about the liberal arts majors or the people who just get far off. We're talking about people who get sports degrees, who sports marketing degrees. They're not working in sport marketing. There are people who get business administration degrees. Some of them are now working at a lawn shop because they can't even get into corporate America because they don't have 4 years of experience. Like, the American dream is 100% dead for so many people. And so many people have aspirations now not to be a doctor or a lawyer or anything like that. They want to be a fucking YouTuber.
Young people are tired of this stale, moldy, old, dead consensus that has dominated American politics for a very...
There's a conspiracy theory that some Indian mainstream say that the U.S. is under Israel and BlackRock's control. That is a conspiracy that I think most people are turning their heads to. And I think it's, like, in terms of, like, market, because we know all money rules everything, BlackRock fucking owns everything. And apparently Israel and U.S. are one and the same. Like, and that's a gross statement to make. And as an American, I don't want that to be the truth.
Long time. The one that dragged us into all these foreign wars and sold us out for some cheap plastic shit from China. Young people are tired of being told to sit down and shut up and pledge allegiance to the free market in a country that seems to not give a shit about them, as well as a foreign country they have absolutely no connection to. For so long, establishment hacks and establishment shills looked at the issues bothering the people and just kind of dismissed them. Can't afford to live where you grew up? Just move. Don't like that the toothpaste is locked behind plexiglass? Just deal with it. Think it's kind of f***ed up how you work 40 hours a week and still can't afford to pay rent? What are you, some kind of communist? You don't like funding a genocide with your tax dollars? What are you, anti-Semitic? If you don't address the issues of the people will gravitate towards those who are addressing those issues. It's not Mamdani's fault he won. It's yours. It's not Nick Fuentes' fault he's popular. It's yours. The tragedy of Ben Shapiro is that he led a life worshipping the free market, only to lose in the free marketplace of ideas. Now, with all this neocon rhetoric coming out of the GOP, are the Democrats going to pick up the populist ball that they are fumbling? Are they actually going to get their shit together? Well, they are trying, because they have written an article called Deciding to Win, where after interviewing over 300,000 American voters from both parties, they may have finally discovered the secret to winning.
To give ourselves the best chance to win, we recommend the following changes to our approach. Democrats need to 1. Focus our messaging on an economic program centered on lowering costs, growing the economy, creating jobs, and expanding the social safety.
With that being said, I want to know how much they paid for this fucking survey. It's probably way too much goddamn money.
2. Advocate for popular economic policies. Moderate our positions where our agenda is unpopular, including on issues like immigration, public safety, energy production, and some identity and cultural issues.
So basically it took you guys 10 years, millions of dollars, and dozens of Microsoft team meetings to come to the conclusion that everyone has been saying forever. You wasted a decade worshipping at the altar of mentally ill Karens, and now you're acting like, hey, what if we were normal is a groundbreaking political discovery. You. I could have told you all this for free. It is a bad sign that it took you over a decade to come to the same conclusion that my audience has come to like a decade ago. And they're all retarded. Please reflect on this.
God, she's right. We are retarded.
I beg of you. Also, what do you mean you had unpopular positions on public safety? Like, why would you even say that out loud? Yeah, let's vote for the party that admits it was wrong about the issue of crackheads shanking people in the street. I love this quote from Nancy Pelosi, randomly shoved in here.
Winning an election is a decision. You make a decision to win, and then you make every decision in favor of winning.
Then how have you lost over a decade?
How deep? How thought-provoking. Thank you, Nancy. What would we do without you? Probably win an election.
Democrats have changed our focus. In comparison with the Democratic Party of 2012, today's Democratic Party is more focused on issues like climate change, democracy, abortion, and identity and cultural concerns, and less focused on the economy and middle class. The table below shows this shift. Through an analysis of the prevalence of selected words in the 2024 Democratic Party platform, in comparison with the 2012 Democratic Party platform.
This whole study is really interesting, but I need you guys to see this chart because when I first saw this,
wow,
the scream I screamed. So Democrats since 2012 have increased their rhetoric on race by, sit down, 1,137%. On the
and
gays,
they say we're the racist
1,044%.
They say we're the bigots and we're the racist one. They're the ones turning the heat up.
Their rhetoric on men has decreased by 51%. It is now negative 51%. On fathers, negative 100%. They just stopped talking about that shit. Veterans, negative 31%. The economy, negative 51%, because nobody cares about that, right? The middle class, 79%, but I guess you can't really talk about something that is disappearing. And jobs, negative 47%. It somehow gets worse. Apparently, voters trust Republicans more on the most important issues to them,
drug abuse,
and trust
income,
Democrats the most on the
unemployment.
least important issues to them. Like, they literally care the least about LGBT, but trust Democrats the most with it. The most popular Democratic policies among voters are things like lowering drug prices, banning stock trading, expanding Medicare, and raising the minimum wage. While the most unpopular Democratic policies are things like abolishing the police, providing free healthcare to illegal immigrants, and affirmative action. You're telling
You know, we said we were a serious nation earlier. Are we sure we're a serious nation at this point? If this is what our political leaders are running off of?
me this for the first time. Democrats, here is some advice for free. You can't just be MAGA light. Why would people drink Mr. Pibb when Dr. Pepper is right there? You know what I'm saying? You gotta bring something different, something better to the table. And that different should be working class focused economic populism. I don't just want two neocon parties, okay? But all of this is pointless when it's clear the Dems are not changing at all. They're just gonna change their messaging. They're putting pretty wrapping paper and a bow on a big fat smelly turd. There is a chance that the Democrats may win based entirely on Orange Man bad. Again, which means they might get into office by learning absolutely f***ing nothing.
At least with Zohan, he wouldn't say Trump bad. He would give it an actual answer that sounded really good, sounds really nice on how to fix some of these issues. And once more, we're going to see if they work or not.
Again. Then the voters will go, oh my god, nothing has changed, and then they'll vote for a Republican. American politics is just a revolving door of villains, isn't it? Rest assured, whoever wins,
right or left, it's all part of the same
If you're
bird.
actually gonna do this shit, if you're actually gonna do what you're saying in this little article, you better be going whole hog, not just the tip. I'm talking embracing shoesalism.
No! No!
For many years, I have been smeared as many things. Grifter, flip-flopper, fence-sitter, racist, sexist, homophobic. But I am not a grifter, flip-flopper, or a fence-sitter. I'm simply living in 2055. You see, America has been a hyper-capitalist, economically center-right, socially center-left country since about the mid-century. And I know libertarians in my audience are going to be like, it's not capitalism, it's cronyism. Okay, whatever the f*** you want to call it, it sucks, okay? So what if instead, and hear me out, what if instead we were a more people-focused, community-focused, working-class-focused, economically left, socially right country? All the data shows more people fall into that quadrant, the populist quadrant, the shoesalist quadrant, if you will, than the current system we are in today. If a shoesalist party existed, it would be incredibly popular, but it doesn't exist. And that's probably by design, honestly. The Social Democrat Party of Denmark has passed many progressive policies that liberals in America would only dream of. Protection from rent hikes, free college and healthcare, carbon taxes, and a very strong welfare system. But the Social Democrat Party also believes in a strict immigration policy. They believe that if immigration is too fast or chaotic, it puts pressure on working class communities, weakens social unity, and makes it harder to maintain their strong welfare system.
Get out of hand quick.
What a f***ing grifter Denmark is. I feel like so many people nowadays are like terminally left-right brain to the point where like they look at issues and instead of being like, that solution makes sense to me. I believe that. I agree with that. They instead go, that's the left-wing solution, therefore I will believe in that. And it's so stupid and hyper-partisan and makes absolutely no sense to me, and that's why I think like a lot of left-right brain hyper-partisan people don't understand me or people like me. That's why they call me a centrist or fence-sitter or flip-flopper or whatever, and it's like, no.
Ideally, you should probably be a fence-sitter if you're a true American citizen, because on the right, they're gonna have some good ideas and some bad ideas, and you should like the good ones and you should not like the bad ones. And on the left, they're going to have good ideas and bad ideas, and guess what? You should like the good ideas and not like the bad ideas, and try to get somebody who's going to fence sit right in the middle with you and allow for a free market, but not allow for corporations to get greedy. Shit like that. Like, being a fence sitter is not an insult.
Oh, I'm not a fence sitter. I have many strong opinions. You just don't like them. And no, I'm not a flip-flopper just because you don't understand the concept of having opinions that don't perfectly fall on the arbitrary, always changing left-right axis that is American circus politics. There's nothing incoherent about my beliefs on paper. None of them contradict one another. I don't understand. She likes free healthcare but doesn't want to chemically castrate children? She believes in workers' rights but wants a stricter border? I don't get it. Like, where is the contradiction? I'm basically just Bernie Sanders before he got his spine surgically removed by the DNC. In conclusion, MAGA and the Republican Party embracing populism is what made them so popular in the first place. But if the Republican Party's answer to all these issues young people are having is, F you, just move, you're not talented, maybe you'll own a home when you're 70 years old, they're doomed. Like, they had a small, brief fling with populism and ghosted it. Just pumped and dumped. Like a fat whore they're ashamed of and won't bring out on dates in public.
As I'm editing this, Trump and Mamdani had a meeting together, and it was very interesting.
It was
We were discussing
great.
when Bernie Sanders was out of the race, I picked up a lot of his votes, and people had no idea. When he was put out of the race, I think quite unfairly, if you want to know the truth, many of the Bernie Sanders voters voted for me. And I felt very comfortable, frankly, in seeing that and saying that. I would feel very, very comfortable being in New York, and I think much more so after the meeting. We agree on a lot more than I would have thought.
I'm sorry, this is my new favorite problematic Yowie ship. They love each other. Maybe it's not over, folks. Maybe the power of friendship and populism will save us all.
Listen, I want my kids to grow up in a safe and affordable world where they can get jobs and they can start a family and then they can have the same for their kids. And I feel like at the end of the day, that's what most people want, left and right. They just have different ideas on how to get.
I know that India has like 2,500 parties with democracy in 90 years, and the U.S. has more than 200 years with only 2 parties. It's kind of weird. We have more than 2 parties. We have like 3 or 4, but it only ever boils down to 2, and I agree that that is weird. However, on the flip side, I think India has too many fucking parties.
There.
I try keeping up with like Indian politics, bro. It is a nightmare.
Happens, my ideas happen to be the correct ones, and if you disagree with them, you will be sent to the re-education camp. Do you want one? Do you want a nuggie? Pledge your allegiance to shoesalism, and you get a nuggie. So that was
No, I just want the nuggie, goddammit. Don't make me do the dance.
that little video. If you liked it, please subscribe for more, and if you want to help support the channel, donate to my Patreon, link down below. All patrons get every single video, uncensored,
Alright, let's do our favorite. It would deal damage to the political system. Yeah, everyone knows, and that's why everyone is so adamant that they want it to be fully released. That's what I'm saying. We all know that the Epstein files, there's something in them. When I say something, I mean like a nexus point and just history. On this fucking rock, there was some real evil shit happening on an island. I'll die on a hill that George Washington was right. 2-party system is terrible. Damn. It is the root of like 90% of America's problems and also castrates democracy to exactly 2 stances. The division is in your population. The extreme bias reporting in the media covered the increasing tribalism. It's not in the case that more granular democracies are immune to those, but it makes it much harder to reach that point in America at this moment. 100%. I'm not going to read that one out loud, but come on. I mean, I I was about to make a criticism and they're trying to get me right now. Okay, before they get me, I'm going to turn off the stream. I appreciate you guys. I got to get ready for work in the morning. But Kat, thank you for hanging out with me all stream. You are the fucking man. I appreciate everyone who's been also coming in, coming out. I've seen the viewer count go up and down. So genuinely, thank you guys, and I'll see you guys real soon, like tomorrow.